Fish porn alert. The indoor goldfish are spawning. Stop laughing. It's a serious matter. Let's get it on. Wow. Let's get it on. Let's love, baby. Look at that. How cool is that? I need to take the koi out, really. We don't want to mix. Poor old female, look, getting bruised and battered. Filthy. Absolute filth. Whee! Oh, look. Come back, come back. Right, that's enough porn. And it's to drag an old filter brush to act as a spawning brush. Give it a quick wash. But look at the crap it's leaching into my tank. Let's just hope that wasn't the wrong decision. I can see her eyeing it up. She's going, oh, yeah. Let's see if she uses it. I'll sit here and watch. And I'll come back to you. The eggs are coming out, as you can see. There's lots dotted on the plants, but the fish are absolutely going mad with eating them. I don't want to separate them. That is not my intention. Just cleaning the filters while I'm here. Those of you that are interested, so I don't know if you can see that, we're 3 weeks in with the Cloverleaf 1 kilowatt on 1600 litre tank. So we're indoors, but it's an outside, like I said before, it's an outside shit house. So it is cold in here. I think the ambient temperature is probably at the moment about 10 degrees, but it has been as low as sort of 1-2 degrees when I've come out here at night. Oh, koi now, doing very nice. New addition there, that cheeky little Amasako Kajaku. I think that is, or was it a Sakai? No, that's crap, it was a Sakai. She's down there, and I've got my 2 grown shows in there still. But yeah, so 3 weeks in, heating to 18 degrees at the moment, but yeah. £21 and 38 pennies, so it's about just over a £5 a week during the cold snap, so I don't think that's too bad. I think the important thing is this is well insulated. You would have seen the foil insulation and that went in with this, and it's got the additional block work around it obviously, and it's covered. But yeah, we're all a bit startled because if I'm honest, I'm filming this, I've just had the 2 kahakus out to show you on the ground show video, so they're all a bit pissed off of me, and it's all a bit disturbed in there. Hence why I wanted to clean the filters, a bit of poo collecting because the air's off. But yes, let's get this finished. Got some of this from the koi event as well, the ground show. I do like a bit of medi koi, and be interesting. I can't use that nishi koi that's in that barrel. It just makes a mess of the water, full of colouring and shit. Whereas this is a bit more, well, colour alone tells you. But yeah, there you go. Hello children, still got a leak, just out in the old grow on, just took delivery, so got this working really nice actually, water stays nice and clear, got a good routine with the Tempest and the DIY shower, if you like, whatever it's called, with bodge. What I do struggle with is obviously quite a chunky pump. This is 6,000 litres per hour, so it's not hugely, it's not a large pump. It's very chunky in terms of its size and height, and there's actually quite a limited, where they insist on having this wonderful handle, you actually lose quite a bit of area, surface area, for actual inlets or holes to allow shit to get in there. So what I'm finding is I'm getting a good flow, so the inlet, or the outlet to the filter, inlet to the pond, comes around, get a nice flow. I've got air in this corner to keep any crap off the bottom, which is doing well. But what I'm finding is the water, the poo, I can watch it come around, and then what it's doing is it's actually hitting the side of the pump and then just gathering around it. So what I've done was order myself one of the old retro bottom drains like I had on my first ever pond. In hindsight, if I could build this again, I built it in mind of continuing to buy fry or raise my own fry, but honestly I can't be bothered. You're better off buying younger koi from a decent breeder, decent dealer, especially if you can get hold of some hand-picked stuff, and that's more fun. You lose that risk period between between them being extremely small, extremely vulnerable, you jump into that 3-4 inch stage and actually get to watch them grow on properly. So yes, so a slight change of thought. Otherwise I would have put a bottom drain in this. My plan for this year at some point is to take the liner out, either put a Boxworld liner in, or at the moment it's looking a lot cheaper if I just fiberglass it myself. So it's about 200 quid I think to fiberglass it with the kit from Fiberglass Direct. But for now, just need a fix for a couple of months. So yeah, I did put it in my basket, the bottom drain, on eBay, just to see if the same would happen like it did on Amazon, and my wife purchased it, but it didn't. It's obviously just a one-off thing. It didn't happen again, which is a bit disappointing. But I did get an eBay voucher, so I got a tenner off it. So bottom drain. I forget the company. It's the same as I bought the last one off. Here's a picture of their logo. But yeah, got it for I think 63 quid for the bottom drain. I've not gone with aerated because I'm not fussed, because it's not sitting in the middle of the pond or the grow on. So yeah, let's go and unbox that. We'll have a look what's in the box, assuming it's the same as the last one. Bit of solvent welding, and then I'm just going to run it on a flexible up to the Tempest. But yeah, I'll see you in a minute. So I got top off now, and you can probably see a bit better. So we have a nice clean floor going all the way around, nice muck free, and then when we get to the filter area, you can see we just got bits, excuse the fluff on top, that's bubbles and food floating around. They're just coming up for their feed. But yeah, you can see around it. I just want to negate this poo, because if I leave this a couple of days, it does mount up quite a bit, especially as the fish get larger. Larger the fish, larger the poo, which is basic science, one would imagine. But yeah, so that's where I'm going to actually just sit the bottom drain just about here somewhere, and then at worst case scenario, if I do get any crap on the bottom, I can just use the soft broom just to sweep it up, but hopefully I won't get any. But yes, such as life, everybody's happy, everyone's growing on, some at a quicker rate than others. There's my two Kahaku from the ground show, and there's my Krashigoi actually. Growing fairly quick. I mean, you can't tell, but that's about 1.5 meters long now, that Krashigoi. Just looks a bit smaller, doesn't it, because of scale and everything. But yeah, right, let's get on. Let's go indoors. All right, so basic gist of it. Oh, we are. Eco filtration, that was it. Up to 150% savings when you shop direct. That's interesting. I'm sure a lot of koi dealers would be very impressed to know that they've got 150% markup. If only, I would imagine, we'd have less dealers closing and more opening. But yeah, thanks for your order. Like I say, I've ordered from these a couple of times and always found the service to be very good. These look interesting. What can I use them for? I'll tell you, if you've got a Hornby, if you're into your model railway, look, got yourself a bridge. I don't have a Hornby, so... Oh, got some foam too. Foam's always handy. But other than that, yeah, so there's your basic bottom drain. I'm expecting, so I let the pipe work, more bridge. Oh, look, instructions. For use with a gravity fed system. For use with it. Get out of here. Right, so I'm expecting to see some pipe work. Yes, and if I remember rightly, a pack of stones. There's some PB comes with it. Yeah, there you go, just to weight it down. So I've got to freddle that in the top in a minute. What I'll do is I'll do that, and then I'll come back to you in the garage, and we'll just put the pipe work together. Just a quick note, just having a look out of interest. Diagram. Oh, and pump return system. So pump return system. What's interesting is it doesn't show it mounted to a pump in the pond. So how I mounted mine, I have seen a lot of people mount them on a pump system. Is actually just to have the pump in the water and then pump. Obviously that's probably, I don't know whether they don't recommend it or it's because they can't be asked to reference bleed in the system and things like that. And obviously priming it when it turned on. But on my last one I never had a problem with priming. It was always absolutely hunky-dory. So yes, so I'm just going to mount my pump in the corner of the pond and then have it coming up the back wall. So this is where the filter sits. I'll show you in a minute anyway. But yeah, don't want to be faffing around with all these gubbins. So I should have left them on the floor really. But yeah, it's out. I'm filling up the stones. fuck. Right, stone's all in. I've had the old dustpan and brush out. If you saw the mess I'd made, my golly. And we're just going to pop the cap in. Never to be taken out again. I think on my last one I popped a bit of glue around it, but I don't think there's any need. That's a real tight fit. Tight, he says, tight. Yeah, it seems all right. So that's in now. In terms of gap, they give you probably, depending on your finger size, you've got fat carrot fingers or like myself, but it's about, I'd say it's probably about a 10mm gap in the bottom. None of the turds are going to exceed that. So now all we need to do, take it in the garage, we'll get these, I want to solvent weld these on. No, I don't want to solvent weld them on. Yes, I do want to solvent weld them on. And then we'll go from there. All right, that's that all glued together. So basically, top on with the bleed valve or bleed hole. So when you put it in the water, it can actually get the air out, the airlocks out. That is just a connector, if you can get it back on there, and then obviously the hose tail, stepped hose tail, just cut down to the size of that I need, and then glued in place. But other than that, I've got a little seal to put in there and screw it on. Other than that, it's just a case of getting it in the pond, nice and quick, nice and easy. Drop her in, plug and play. You'll notice that even though everything is off, all switched off, the amount of water that's coming out of there, which tells me, because the pump's off, so there's nothing pumping to here. Well, obviously a little bit, but if I shut that, it shows how much water, even though the pump was on, granted, it's obviously still pushing it through that valve. So in theory that should stop now. But yeah, surprising how much water still gets past these Evolution Aqua expensive valves. Golly. Just excuse the wind. That's like gale force out there. Sun's shining though. Hey, just as I've moved the pump, you'll see. I mean, as much as there was around it as well, but what actually sits in the cage waiting to harbour crap and bacteria is, yeah, it's quite frightening really. As I say, this water was pretty much clear. Well, it was clear, not pretty much clear, but excuse dog hair, that's off my hand. But yeah, just moving the pump alone, the amount of stuff that, I mean, literally, I'm lifting it with the net out of the pond because I can't bother to reach in. And look at the gunge, look at all of those turds. So what we do with them, look at the wind. God damn. So yeah, we're just oofing this out, get it out of the water, get it in here, and then I can work out my pipe lengths, and away we go. They're not enjoying it one bit. Mind you, neither am I. Now, that's probably a better example. They all think it's food. You see the amount of crap that's come out of that pond, out of that filter. Pump! Fuck me! Pump! It's a pump, Dave. You don't know it, but I've filmed this about 3 times, and every time I've either said filter or sump for some reason. I'm sorry, fishies. Right, anyway, yes, this is a pump. Pump, filter, filter, pump. This is a pond. What are in it? A fish. And behind the camera is a tit. Alright, what we're doing now, for some reason, the hose tails seem to be in between sizes, i.e. it's slightly small. So I think this is 38, and I think that might be 35. So with help of the blowtorch, what we're going to do is just going to apply a little bit of heat, just so we can then bend that over the top. And then we'll get the old thingy bob in it, the old Jubilee clip, and then taper up. There we go, that bit of heat's just allowing me to push that over. Quick little tip when you're working with this shitty corrugated pipe. Say it's shitty, but it is very malleable, which is quite good. Excuse me, out of breath. That was a bit of a hard squeeze down there. But when you're working in a small environment like the grow on, this flexi pipe doesn't quite come in quite handy in terms of getting around all tricky bends. And see, my pump sits underneath and it has to come up, bends round. I wouldn't have been able to do that unless I went with rigid pipe. And yes, so we've got that on. What I'm going to do, quick tip, as I say, with these corrugated bits, it's quite hard to get a fix with a Jubilee clip. So what I tend to do, get the old electrical tape, build up those gaps slightly with the electrical tape, and then put your Jubilee clip on. And then after, tape over the Jubilee clip. Don't want any sharp edges now. There we go, all done. So, no sharp edges. I did notice actually on the pump body there's a couple of sharp edges, so I'm actually going to get a little bit of 150 grit sandpaper on them. Just take the edges off them slightly. You can see where it's a box shape. It's really sharp. But yeah, so you'll curse yourself when it comes to needing to undo a Jubilee clip, because you'll think, oh, for crying out loud, why did I do that? But yeah, you're just going to stop any fish, if you end up with parasites, etc., or they're, I suppose, spawning, feeding, tend to get a bit ravenous. It's just going to stop any damage to those wonderful creatures that we keep. Now all I need to do, that one's already done, get this hook back up. As I say, going to sand them corners off very quickly. I must do that now. And then it's a case of just dropping it in the water, as easy as that. There we go. I'll see that'll be up in the water. Other than that, I think that's about it. That's ready to go in. It'll look pretty, but it'll work. And then what I'll do is just pull the pipe through. Once it's in the water, I can pull this up straight and make my adjustments this end then, rather than faffing around with my arms in the water. So yeah, that's ready to go in. Let's go for it. Still blowing a gale. I've sanded off any sharp bits off of here. Make sure none of das fish are getting caught up. They still want food. They ain't getting none at the moment. But yeah, so that should sit underneath, directly under the hole then. And then yeah, let's get it on. Right, she's in there. See, the pump's now sat over the back. Bottom drainy retro thingy-majig is there. Don't know what this has dropped to while I've been fanning around. So only 1 degree, that's not disastrous. What I've done is I've actually left a bit of spare pipe, because whenever you play around with the bottom of the pond, you never know where the shit is going to sit next. So that being in the way may very well push the dirt somewhere else. So what I want to do is leave enough that I can move this at least to the middle. At worst case, leave it where it is. It looks a bloody great thing, doesn't it? But hey up. So we're going to turn it on actually. Should we turn it on? I'm a bit worried. Have I connected everything? Let's open these up. Right, here we go, ready? Right, that should be sucking now. Oh, something's happening. There's loads of crap stirring up in here now. Nice big water change for them is what is intended. Yeah, look at all of that junk. But it says dribble, 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 dribble. And out comes the water. You see on the actual filter itself, there's a fair old bit of flow going through it. But yeah, that seems to be successful. Time we get a bit of movement in the water, I think we'll be alright. Should we test it? We could test it with a bit of shit, couldn't we? Right. Let's see that crap there. Oh, oh, there it goes. And another bit. Sorry about that, I managed to turn my phone off, but what's really annoying is the bit of crap that I was going to show you going up has now gone up, and now I can't show you anymore. Let's see if I can stir up some more. Thing is, you're never going to get, I know a lot of people buy these retro bottom drains and then they expect the sort of suction that you get off of a normal gravity fed bottom drain, and I mean, this is a 6,000 litre pump. It's never going to draw that much. But what it will do as the fish and that move around, obviously it will let the water in rather than building up in the pump case. There's a bit just there going in. So that's pulled that from about, you can see the flap on the bottom drain, on the Ujima flip. There you go, there's another bit. You can just see a bit there. It's going over. Oh, the fish moved it. You have to take my word for it, but yeah, right, I'm going to get everything back together and then give these a real damn good clean out. There we go, everything's back together. So, everything's back up and running as it should be. Oh, fucking hell. got a little dribble there. I need to sort it out, but I'll sort it out another day. Can't be bothered. Let's turn the air off. Hopefully there's no crap. It's been filling up for a while. But yeah, that seems to have done the trick. That crap that was all building up around the pump seems to be resolved. So I'm going to feed these bad boys. Actually, I'll feed them now. Any of you that are part of the grow and show, let's turn that off for a minute. I'm very surprised. Of all of that, I've just topped up. I've probably done 20% water change. After topping that up, my heater's not come on at all. So that shows me that the water coming in is starting to cook up a bit, which is quite nice. That's the Benny Goy from the Grow and Show. Deutz or Chiba there. Chag. There's my Kahakus. There's the Sakai. He had a split fin, but it's starting to heal now, which is good. Yeah, Ginrin Ogon. Yeah, loving my... Oh, I was going to show you them, but I bloody scared them now. Just going to show you this Sagi. So a couple of them haven't really grown, so I need to think what I'm going to do to those. But the others, they've really grown, which is nice. I say probably the biggest one's about 6-7 inches. That's that one down there. Yeah, no, they seem to be enjoying life. As I say, the water stays pretty clear. Kiyosuri down there. Got a platinum Ogon in there somewhere. Normal Chags. Yeah. Oh, I've enjoyed growing these on. If you haven't got a grow on, I see Surrey Koi. Stu from Surrey Koi has just done his grow on. Very nice, by the way, with the fiberglass and that. A man after my own heart using the old Wham boxes. But yeah, it's one of the best things you can do, actually. It doesn't matter how big it is, as long as it's appropriate for the size of the koi, i.e. if you only, you want to keep it quite small, you just need to be aware that you're going to have to move them on or move them to a bigger pond or the next, your main pond. But yeah, it's one of the best things I did. The kids and myself love standing here, like Wally's, just watching them do their thing. Can you hear that wind out there? Finally get a bit of sun. It's blowing a gale. Yes, there's one of my Kahakus. Beautiful Benny on them. They're real rouge. La rouge, la rouge. Where's my wild card, Kahaku? That's my wild card for Keith at Koi Water Barn. With his little red lips. Jamie from Keeping It Koi. He always tells me what it means when it's down towards the lips, but I always forget. Comment down below, Jamie, because every time it slips my mind. I just call her Marilyn, because like Marilyn Monroe with her lipstick, but yeah, you'll tell me, you'll get fed up with telling me, you will, unsurprisingly. But yeah, right, that's it from me. I will catch you next time, and I think the main thing, you'll see, this is all, I keep changing my mind on this. I've got to build the rabbit cages like I said in the last one. So I think I keep turning around. I can't even make my mind up which way I want to walk. I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's probably going to be the rabbit hutch. Excuse the wind, and then I'll show you next time. As I said, I'm going to extend the pergola, I think. Originally I was going to build something there, but I think I'm going to extend the pergola and then build the filter house into it almost. But yeah, it's like Titanic with all the mist and condensation on the window. That's my work office, so I can assure you none of that happens. But yeah, from me and the koi, best wishes. It's Friday today. I think I'll put this out Sunday, I think. I hope you have a good weekend, or had a good weekend, and best wishes to everyone. Take care now. Oh, and those of you at the Grow and Show that said I look like Where's Wally with me hat on, piss off.